Welcome to Onivia Highlights. These are the best highlights from the LCK Spring 2025.
Would have really liked, I think Diablo missed that cannon right after that happened as well, so. Sad times, but at least getting the lane control that you're supposed to get with Varus and Poppy into the Rakan lane as a bit of a 3v3 though.
Yeah, or it's just a 1v1 and then a 2v2 as now they're looking to try and turn it onto Smash. That is the kill going over though as Smash does go down. Carrier unable to get in front or stop anything there as the flash from Owner and he cannot follow Raptor as Faker goes in and will be able to finish off the doggo. A little bit aggressive to then go for the crab, but Faker investing the flash. 2 for 2 in.
Okay, rough around the edges, but he's so incredibly young. He's got so much time. As Kellen goes in again.
High value Q there, landing onto both of them. Does get the arcane shift out of Smash as Diablo sidestepping everything ever. And just walks past Carrier, going aggressive, finds the Blighted Quiver, and Smash taking a lot of damage there. Of course, this is the lethal tempo variety of Varus, but Diablo is playing up so incredibly far. That is a brilliant flick here from Vikla as Raptor just immunes the Emperor's Divide, and Faker having to deal with a big old wall. And he has no flash, he has no way out, and that is Vikla answering the kill that he picked up earlier, and Raptor even getting
here. BNK really snowballing this game incredibly well.
Yeah, look at Diablo, just frontlining, trying to stop Carrier from being able to do anything. He flashes, will be able to charm up the Varus, but where's the follow-up? The cast will come in, but it gets Diablo to relative safety. Now he's trying to get some auto attacks across as now Owner goes in. Does have the safety of the Crescent Guard as Carrier dives forward once again. These health bars are so low and Smash is now on the board. There is the pickup as Clear dives in, and he's gonna have to get immediately back out. There's the T1 team fighting, and I think we're gonna have this point in time. Raptor thinking about rotating over as the Dragon's up as well. There are plenty of objectives to go for, but there are feats of strength going over to BNK as first turret goes down. Second is soon to follow. It's Faker also going down extraordinarily low and taken out here by Vikla on the top side of the map. This is 6 grubs at play, but it should be back relatively quickly here, so Keeper's Verdict not really finding the value that they really want. It looks like T1 with control of this at the moment. Raptor gonna have to get out. And Carrier still holding onto the quickness. BNK, I think intelligently, just playing for the side lane. Clear going to be able to take down this turret. And they lose the third.
Over. I don't know if T1 could stick this, but they at least get a TP out. Doran, though, has to match.
Yep, there are teleports coming in from everywhere as Kellen doesn't have his ulti up. Finds a heroic charge, though, onto Carrier, trying to get him out of there as it is going to be the Otacon. Secured by the Xin Zhao. And he's also trying to take down Raptor on the back end, who gets a whole bunch of health back. And they're just sending them home as quickly as possible. Smash right in there, but Kellen finds the heroic charge. It's just not quite enough as Vikla, with a big old shield, is going to say goodbye, Mr. Smash, and there's a seismic shove. Good sidestep from Doran, but that's a turret, buddy. That ain't gonna work. And Diablo's like, I got Shelly.
Diablo is Kellen's support here. Ends up taking Smash out just barely, and then Doran just sits under turret. Is over here. Doran again.
In the meantime, Diablo is gonna get cast in, and now Raptor in a bit of trouble as well as T1 like a freight train moving down this mid lane. Just not quite enough to get them any more than the kill onto Vikla and onto Kellen.
Can they
trade it? I think we missed one of those.
Can they trade it for an inner? Looks like the answer is yes. There's just no
6 grubs, Wolf. Yeah. 6 grubs.
These Fakers down here doing some damage to this one, and I don't think Vikla can clear this wave fast enough, so they will still pick that one up as a big old trade of turrets. But because this Jax has 6 grubs, because Clear is so massive in this game.
Yeah, I think as well, I think the Keeper's Verdict has to be good and the wall has to be good. Yeah. Because Diablo needs space to be able to get auto attacks down and they without just being, you know, caved in on by T1. As in goes Raptor looking for an angle. There's that Keeper's Verdict we were talking about, but it will be cancelled. Counter-strike onto Carrier, who does have the quickness running, but he's on the steadfast presence at the moment. Doran finds the angle, but he's going to immediately get heroic charge. Goes Golden, trying to stay alive as Faker on the flank. He's able to lock down the doggo, but look at Diablo popping off, going nuts in the back line, and Smash not going to be able to stand up against this Varus. Sitting at below half health.
Really turning this into an extended fight.
This is going to be a 5v4 though. It's in goes Kellen before anyone even arrives, and the seismic shove's so good. Smash locked down, and now Faker realizing that he has to make the master play. He takes down the Poppy, but I just don't think it's going to be enough as Raptor, he is going in. The bleed not quite going to be enough as Owner is still there. I think the Dragon should now go over to BNK. But man, what is it with the T1 series this week, Wolf?
It's just been so close. When people would argue they shouldn't be, but BNK really running away with this one in a lot of ways here. His positioning has been so good.
Oh, scoreline Steven over here.
Oh, I mean, come on. He's had some fantastic positioning.
No, he has. He's been absolutely...
Like his outplay on the Faker earlier.
I think I'm just really proud of Kellen. As Vikla, he's going in. Seismic Shove doesn't quite land here as Arcane Flash over the wall as Carrier into that backline finds the quickness, but there's not a lot of follow-up. Still the rest of T1 able to pull themselves back together. No one dead on the back end. Still, that ward position is really bad for BNK.
Faker does have an arm guard for this fight. And
they're going to get spotted, but he flashes on top of Smash. Raptor going untargetable, flashes on in as well. Smash going down low, but he's not dead just yet. It's only Kellen that's caught up to him and needs another auto to be able to take him down. There's the cue to finally find it. The rest of BNK trying to dive on top of Faker as it's a 1-for-1, but support for AD Carry. I think BNK would take it unless they can kill Clear, who finally finds himself out of position. Seismic Shove as also Doran's in trouble, but he has the Zhonyas to keep himself at least alive for now.
Baker used his teleport so he can't back and TP back. I think they're very aware of that. They're just going to stick this dragon, take it out.
I think going for a smite fight against Owner is something you don't want to do. Doran has teleported in. Do manage to get that cooldown. Certainly going to be an important one here as there's a flick onto Carrier. If they explode the Rakan, things could be a problem, but Chains of Corruption not enough to lock him down.
Still, he's incredibly low now.
Oh, Vikla out of position here. He does have to flash to avoid the explosive cask. Doran going to have that one up very, very soon as well, as Vikla's not done yet. Wants to throw down the wall as everyone gets over. Smash still standing forward. Arcane Shift invested, but we'll have that one back as well.
It's just such an incredibly hard composition to lock down with a wall or with anything, with how mobile it is.
Yeah, you really have to have a follow-up after the attempted engage if you want to get anything done. Level 16 here for Smash. That True Shot Barrage starting to hurt there. It is onto Vikla. Fair bit of damage there. The backline goes Carrier. Vikla in so much trouble, but he has the Seraph Shield, and he's able to weather the storm. Now Clear getting solo altered from Faker, and Clear still wanting to find the angle. They get on top of Smash yet again. They'll trade the Jax for him this time, although they don't finish off the Ezreal. Chains of Corruption doesn't land as well as Diablo. It's going to have to find Doran. There's the hail of arrows, and he's going to need to stand his ground, and it does not work. He flashes, trying to get out. He kills Faker, but at what cost, ladies and gentlemen? Vikla's still alive, but he's the only one, and T1 will take the Baron.
And it's the first death of damage he has pretty consistently done these fights. I think you were like, I've got enough damage items, you know? Defensive sounds good.
Let's try and keep ourselves healthy. There's a flash in from Kellen once again. And Smash finds himself in trouble. Clear getting into the backline. Faker goes golden, but it means he can't help. Still, Vikla's going to get taken out. Raptor diving on top of the Azir, but Faker's just going to kill him. The doggo's dead. Down goes the Rakan, but that doesn't matter. T1 with Baron now have got 4 on the floor, and it's only Clear that can try and help out, and Doran's even going to deal with that problem. Using that Zhonya's just because he can.
Faker still has Baron buff, of course, so he's just going to TP bottom. They're trying to turn this into a double inhibitor play here, potentially. I think maybe just go mid, and they just realize that's probably the better play, because there's 30 seconds left on both these damage dealers. This game looks like it's about to end as Doran's denying Clear from returning home, and I think T1 have done it.
Yep, T1... I think, you know, it was a difficult scenario throughout most of this game as Clear is going to miss the flash and then just says, well, the game is over anyway. The Nexus will get taken down.
Pick here. My biggest concern here for T1 is how Faker's had some rough landing phases, with Vikla also looking really on point these days. And
about this draft.
Oh, Raptor does not know. He's not a knower.
He is not a knower indeed. He immediately flashes, but I don't think it's going to be enough to be able to get him to safety as he really wants to get on that blast going, but it's not going to be him. It's going to be the flash from Ona that locks that one down, and they'll start off with a red buff. T1 playing dirt.
Yeah,
could be.
Unfortunately for Raptor, there's just simply nothing he can do about it. Corki having Cryo in mid. Doran playing this matchup so far pretty well, looks like. We didn't watch how all the intricacies did happen, but maybe
level 3, and Doran is just going to get flashed on and murdered.
Sorry, everyone. Sorry, crowd. Master surreal.
No, don't say sorry to crowd. Anyway, I don't need to talk about it. Let's have a look at this one from Clear's perspective, as it was, like you say, looking dicey at this point in time.
And look at the XP bar. He's just 1 minute away from 3. That's the extra button he needs.
Oh, boom. Man, doesn't say a word. That's why I removed that app. Oh, God.
Looks like T1 are going to get this dragon. Oh man, it's worse than the Italian memes.
Oh,
that Chronicler keeps showing us for some reason.
Yeah, it does feel better to talk about it, you know. Now, I know that it's not just me. Is Faker going in? Vickler in a little bit of trouble, perhaps. Has already traded quite nicely, but he keeps missing these Qs. And that isn't necessarily the best. There's another one going wide. Maybe they're not supposed to hit. Maybe that's part of the plan. As Ona will be able to secure his own Raptors. As Raptor is unable to get the Rash. Smash is in trouble. Some more autos coming through here from Diablo. He's going to need another one, but the bailout comes in. The handshake's down, but Diablo doesn't die. The flashing it out of the crash down here is Diablo makes the rain, and Carrier needs to try and find him in the fog of war. Diablo, can you get out of here? Because there's another crash down, and the bullet time comes in. The stun comes through as well, and Carrier will be able to get out. That's a beautiful U-turn done here as To The Skies goes clear, and Ona has to avoid the impale. BNK outplaying T1.
Contest here as Oner's going to the bottom side of the map, try to look for a punish here. This is risky.
Yeah, as there's the bullet time just to try and clear out the wave. That's a great ulti from Ona, though, as the handshake comes in. Kellen trying to keep them at bay as Smash is in trouble. And that last auto, not quite enough. Oh my god, how did that work? The immediate bailout is going to save him, but Diablo finding that double up angle was absurd.
That should not have happened, but Carrier was on it, man. Carrier saw it. You and I thought maybe it could happen. And Diablo was like, I'm going to look for it. Carrier was like, I am ready to press the button. Yeah. He pressed it so fast.
Meanwhile, here on the top side of the map, I don't think Ascana really cares about whether Gwen is immune or not. Just going to poop her away from the turret. And Doran, no needlework's going to save you from that. So more plates going over to clear here towards the top side. And so T1 saving things. Doran has been able to sort of weather the storm in these matchups in the past. This is not weathering the storm.
No.
This is the storm, like, destroying your house and you not being in there when it goes to the Wizard of Oz.
He's even denying more farm here. He will get the turret after this. T1 grab another objective as
whoa, that's a flash in. Kellen's going to come on over. He's not really helping out with damage, but there is Vickler in the area. That's a Glacial Prison, but the Magnet Storm comes through as well. Hostile Takeover doesn't connect onto the Rise, and so they just take out the Sejuani. And BNK just continuing to find value everywhere. Feeling like something is up. He's going to spot Doran for the moment as Ona looking to come in. They get into the mist alongside the Gwen, but Clear realizing he has to get out. That's a great hammer boot, but it's not quite going to be enough. Now committing to the fight as the ulti comes out from Carrier, and that spells the end of Clear. Permafrost as well is going to mean that Kellen is in the wrong place as well. And Faker, he's also just going back. He knows that T1 have won this one.
This was
Vickler just split pushing.
Just a great call from T1 and threaten the turret they wanted in the first place. But this should be mid going down unless...
Yep, that is a handshake being employed, but Raptor is just going to ride Shelly and shows her where to go, and she is going to be able to take down the turret as Raptor tries to do it again.
Anyways, there's still a Gwen-shaped, maybe a scissor-shaped hole here on the map for T1.
Not to mention the fact that Smash is pretty far behind as well on that bottom side, 30 CS.
Okay, Faker here maybe caught.
Yeah, Ona going to come in, just throws the ulti away, was expecting a Duke, and Clear just didn't do it. Still, he's going to die.
Okay, a second time. I actually thought that it was, in fact, Raptor was in the bush. As Kellen's here.
Is it over? As the teleport out from Faker is going to get him to safety, and Ona doesn't have teleport, and so he is instead just going to die. It's going to take a little while because he's pretty tanky, but it is a 1-for-1 trade in the end. What this does, though, is provide space for Doran to try and get back into this game.
Yeah, he is still significantly behind, but this will help a little bit. He doesn't have any for this one in the past. It just feels like BNK is not the same team that threw that lead against Genji and LCK Cup. You know, this is a team that really has worked a lot on how to play from ahead.
Yeah, this team has really evolved, and it's really impressive to watch. They're going to be able to deny the soul point as well. That was something that they weren't able to do last time, and now looking to continue this as they move into the inner turret on the bottom side. Raptor playing defense. They'll let the outer turret on the top side fall down, but that is the second turret. Shot does give away that BNK are down here, but look at all of this vision. Look at all of this control that they have. And the immediate turn as Raptor is going to get his handshake in. There's the Magnet Storm, though. The bullet time to come in as well. As a two-man impale delivers Ona and Doran, but they're pretty tanky. Ona's burning down. The bailout not even required here to keep him alive as Vickler trying to get out, and he kills Smash and survives. Vickler, how the heck did that happen? as now T1 are all limping away from this battle. In fact, the health bars everywhere are so low.
Go north.
And that will keep him alive.
That was so scary with Owner and Smash's ults coming up.
The good old face check here as another Q goes wide. Let's see who's going to win this battle as Doran's running with scissors and Vickler is missing Qs. He does have the Seraphs and that Q he lands. Still, arrow point blank is going to be able to do it as it was in fact a rocket from Faker.
EP for clear. Vikla has will have his ultimate as well, but both of these objectives come up at the same time, and T1 still didn't get any prio back. They still didn't get any deep vision.
Oh, handshake going to come through, but that is the two-man impale this time. The bullet time is going to work as Smash was shooting him, but it doesn't actually do anything. Owner goes down, Faker's dead as well, and BNK, they can take both of the objectives if they'd like.
This time BNK can turn this into Dragon. Southside Otacon here next to the Dragon is going to be taken. T1 can't cross with Baron. They lost 2 members, and it's not even. Otherwise, they're going to get the Dragon.
야, 여기 있어. 나 그만 볼게.
Raptors
야,
first person view.
코르키.
Calling Corki because he got the prio target this time. The
네,
bailout
씹어야 돼,
is not
씹어야 돼,
going to
결국.
work because no one is anywhere near dying here for BNK.
가다.
Yeah,
If you can
beautifully
shut
done.
that down, you can stop the combo. Maybe Smash can clean up house because you got Faker on 80 carry here as well. He's got his LDR. Oh no!
Raptor comes in. Little Miss Piggy going to be delivered here as Diablo looking for an angle. Hostile takeover doesn't connect onto the Misfortune, and the bailout is going to be there. Bullet time was more in celebration, but I do like the fact that MF does a whole lot of laughing. 50%. Shock blasts raining in as Doran at full health, but I just don't know whether they're going to be able to help out here. 4 versus 5 is the advantage.
Got the angle here with a flash.
Yep, Doran's in the mist right now. He does have the bailout, and Smash is already so close to dead. Going golden is Doran surviving for a moment, but Faker going to get knocked into the wall as Raptor is going to push him out of the fight. There's Carrier going down. Doran follows, and Smash is on the wrong side of the map. The Baron is taken, and BNK, they are not losing 2 games in a row against T1 here today.
Not gonna happen. Kellen takes the kill, but I think it's the least of their worries right now. Close the gap here. Faker as well, trying over the wall. The Realm Warp here is pretty short, but it's pretty clean as well. Faker just has to exit.
Kind of insane as well, the fact that Diablo and Vikla just like going together point blank into the enemy team, but they were so far ahead that it didn't even matter. To the Sky's going to get interrupted here, but I don't think Clear is too worried about it. Vikla now versus 3, but he's just running away. Phase Rush pretty powerful, and BNK will be able to take this inhibitor, but they're looking for even more. Doran doesn't have the needlework anymore, no more arrow, but there is Glacial Prison as well as the hostile takeover.
Yeah, they can just move their attention up here to the top side. Clear's setting up the wave here. They can threaten double inhibitor. Everyone being alive on T1 means there's not an end angle here unless T1 make a mistake. Kellen on a nice angle.
Yeah, every button is up here for BNK though as far as these ultimates. That's Magnet Storm, Impale, Bullet Time. This is so dangerous for T1. Still, they have to try something. Glacial Prison going to be picked up by Diablo, and Smash almost dies from 2 ticks of the bullet time.
And Vikla is escorting this mid-wave in, so I mean there's super minions with Baron buff coming into the T1 base. Second inhibitor is going to go down. They can just siege this if they want to. There's a ping going into the bottom lane though. Vikla is looking for the 3rd inhibitor now with the last minute of this Baron buff, and if T1 make a mistake they just lose the game. Such a critical defense they need to have here.
Yep, 10,000 gold is the lead. Smash taken to half health. These shock blasts are so scary. As Diablo moves over, he's going to get to work on the last remaining inhibitor, and T1, nothing they can do to answer it. They're being pulled all around the rift. It's kind of beautifully played by BNK as far as their siege on the T1 base as the handshake comes in. Hostile takeover connects onto only the Skarner as Vikla going to be taken down. And now BNK with the entire base in shambles of T1 are just going to back away.
Hell, but they still are alive here as Carrier's ult does kind of dissuade here. Vikla goes in a little bit deep. I think
a few ticks of the bullet time. And they are just trying to poke them out underneath this turret. The double up, my God, he's hitting so many of those Qs as the hostile takeover does nothing. Doran trying to take down Raptor, but the Magnet Storm is so good, and the layering of the Impale. Doran goes golden, but this time, the Zhonya's is doing absolutely nothing. The Nexus turrets are going to be taken down, the Nexus exposed, and once again, no team in the LCK for 2025 so far will take down.
And when you have the front line of Clear's Scion plus whatever Raptor transforms into when
he's
Vikla...
ghosting forward, looking for an opportunity here against T1.
That flash from Guma. may have just saved this
That
whole
was as
early game.
late as you could possibly flash that.
It almost looked like Kellen messed it up. You know?
Yeah. Well, he's Hex flashing now. Headbutt Pulp comes in. The Ignite is going to be cleansed, and first blood goes to Diablo. Make that another 2v2 kill here for Kellen and Diablo in the bottom lane. Comes back, licking his wounds here with a Cull in his back pocket. BF sword there. I've seen this play before, ladies and gentlemen. And Gumayushi, nothing he can do about it. No cleanse, no flash, no chance. As Raptor turns into a Jinx and says, Carrier, there's
Not
nothing.
really what I had in mind. Not really what I expected is Hex Flash comes out, headbutts in, gets the knockup, and really nice follow-up comes through from Raptor.
And it's exactly the same play. He just made the same play again, and it worked beautifully, as it generally would if you now don't have as many resources to put into it.
Need to make this work, or it's going to come at a hefty cost.
Yeah, Raptor going to move over as he is spotted, knows that he's spotted. As the rest of T1 just waiting for this Viego to move in.
Another wave means I think they can go ahead and commit to this dive.
There is a cow down here as well as, oh dear, Roar the Slayer going to slow them down as meanwhile the fight continues. Doran gonna have to flash away. Is the flash out from clear as well, but Doran in so much trouble. It's Raptor that goes down first though, and Doran will survive.
Okay, see if they can try to get more here. The wave was thinned out and completely cleared the area because they would have given up a ton of tempo. Doran didn't have teleport at the time, but they ended up turning it into something as Vikla looking for an angle over the traps.
Yeah, manages to get the charm in onto Carrier, who is definitely going to be dead, but does Gumayushi go down as well? That's the question. The answer's no, as Raptor wanting to grab himself one. They are going to at least use the wild growth, but Carrier, he knows that he's dead. And it's going to be Raptor that eventually locks that kill down.
Vikla just passed the traps there from Guma, gets in, hits the...
Yep, and he's won a couple of world championships, I think, relatively recently, if memory serves. Now Ona is just going to get headbutted out of the pit and just gets back in. Safeguards out, and that's what Lee Sin can do, ladies and gentlemen. The very comfy lockdown of... I don't think that T1 really want to find them. Yeah, because Yorick wants to spend his entire time in a side lane, and it makes this Jinx pick kind of awkward. As, speaking of side lanes, Doran is going to be in one. And it does put down the Ghoulie wall. There's the knockup. Flash actually has to be invested here as Raptor still looking for it. He flashes forward, doesn't get the stun, but he gets into melee range, and the Maiden not going to be enough to save him. Down to the bottom side goes Diablo as well, as I just choke on myself.
I mean, what these team fights look like. I think for T1, like you said, they don't want to have one right now. But later on, they have a lot of angles as Doran is once again under fire.
Into the baby cage! Still gonna get knocked up by the Scion. Raptor was tanking this turret for way too long, but still able to go untargetable. Takes down the Yorick, and now Fake is teleported in. 0 mana, but the gravity field is too good, and the Chaos Storm is better! Ona comes down to protect, and they do go 1-for-1 in the trade.
Yeah, it's really clutch here. Carry fight here at this moment to fight into Diablo in this choke point on this area. I think T1 definitely should just back away. Doran's going to get a turret on the other side of the map, and you can see Guma channeling that back, looking for his second item here. I think this was absolutely the right call. Doesn't quite have...
There we go. Okay. Thanks, Raptor.
Doesn't quite have the IE, but does pick up the BF. He has many times on the Jinx in the past. But if he gets charmed, if he gets caught, if he gets hit by the Alistar, if he's caught by a flank from clear, if he gets picked first, the team just falls apart.
Oh, Kellen has the headbutt back, and that's the charm delivery. The chain CC, gorgeous, as Raptor comes in.
That's mid-turret.
Yeah, and also they've got a Rift Herald, so Diablo will be able to finish this off. They get another charm on the inner turret, and BNK all of a sudden jumping out to a gigantic lead because Atakan's on the bottom side.
This up. There's the TP. I'm going to say, Doran, you can have that turret. T1 already pushing for the mid-turret. Yeah. But I mean, I think the Atakan is going to, in this case, be a more high value. Diablo's here.
Yeah, he's going to split them up as well as the ulti comes through. Diablo almost just dead by Faker. Headbutt Pulverize comes in. The knockup's down as well, but the wild growth is so good. Faker in melee range is not exactly where he wants to be. And Vikla is going to take him down.
He's still on this Atakan. I don't think he can do it alone, but man, he is holding. He was hoping they were going to win that fight a little bit faster. He's still going to hold the aggro here.
Yeah, Vikla turns up. And
yeah.
You saw Vikla was so animated in the player camps there as well, because they know they're losing things on the other side of the map. That is outer turret and inner turret on the top side. But Atakan
losing the Atakan. Dragon is still up as Guma in danger.
Yeah, Kellen knows that he's not on vision, has Hex Flash up and available.
Get away with this. They push the top turret right But the fact that BNK was able to, with Raptor alone, hold the Otacon, keep it leashed as, nice try, but keep it leashed and still deal with the push in mid is just incredible. Like, the decision making that has to go into that is a lot, and it's not something I thought going into today that BNK was capable of as Faker.
Yeah, there's a Hex Splash. The immediate answer from Carrier is good, but that's an ulti in trade for a Hex Splash. Or at least there is an ult coming out from Kellen as well. He's now looking to try and make something of it. As Diablo doing some work, Headbutt Pulverize, gets the cow in there. Another knockup as Doran is going to get thrown back. And there's the first kill for the reset composition. BNK not going to be able to find too much more, but taking down Doran after getting the flash is huge.
That trinket is deleted, and now they're fighting completely blind.
Yep, Quadra teleports on the map, but there's no anything to teleport to. As Kellen's going to come on over, he finds Ona, the headbutt brings him out, but it's Gumayushi that's the target, and they come in from every angle. Faker teleports into his death, and now T1 are scattering. They have nowhere to go. The charm lands from Vikla. Ona's trying to safeguard his way out, but it's more like Dangerous Guard in this game as BNK leave only the blind man alive and look to beat T1 in their second match of week 3.
Like the blind man, they had no vision. They couldn't see anything, and it's the Zeri Ari engage onto the Jinx that they just didn't see coming. Guma felt like he was far enough away they could be doing Baron. This teleport from Faker was desperation, but it did not put him where he wanted to go, and now with no damage, it is just a fun house here for
not the BNK that we've seen this year. As Raptor slinking in, looking for a few angles. Doesn't get it.
Faker
testing the waters.
He has no defensive items. I mean, he's got Merc Treads, so I'll give you that, but he's got to play so carefully here, trying to clear this wave, unsuccessful at defending the inhibitor.
And it all has to be 4v5, because the only thing Doran can do is split push.
Yeah, he can't fight. And Vikla is just going to take this turret out. BNK, once again, just like game 2, playing it slow, not willing to give T1 the opportunity to get back into this game, to find an angle to engage.
Well, we're going to move Doran in. Does have that home guard as he's booking it towards the rest of his team. Faker going to get engaged on, but no charm going to land. That's a great interruption once again. Every wild growth has been great here from Carrier. Just hasn't been enough. The Maiden going to be taking out more money over to BNK. Another charm is going to go wide as the Scion also goes wide. Has to flash away. Kick into the Flame Chompers is kind of cute as Kellen gets a headbutt. But T1, yes, they're beating them around, and Clear will go down. But it's in trade immediately. Both top laners, and Diablo loves this kind of craziness. As the Orbit Deception comes in, and now BNK with some free time. That charm going to land as Ona goes down. And BNK, I think they've done it. The Nexus is exposed, and Diablo keeping them on the fountain. And will be able to take down the Nexus. BNK take out T1.